Okay, and then just a little side thing. I know Phoenix, he didn't get to play this game, but a little game I'm going to be super quick with is I got to play the game The Gunk, which is a game I actually started playing a couple of months ago. I stopped playing it because I ended up going on vacation and just never came back to it. I kind of wish I had came back to it sooner because I only had like 2 hours left on it. But I guess just a couple little quick thoughts. It's a small indie game that's on Game Pass. It was developed by a company called Image Informed Games, who are apparently the SteamWorld Dig people. It took me about 5 to 6 hours to complete. That's honestly about as long as this game could possibly be with how much story content is there. Let me switch over. I guess I'll play the B-roll. But yeah, I guess the super kind of quick is it very much reminds me of something like Super Mario Sunshine, where you're kind of going through levels and kind of clearing out this mysterious gunk that's on this planet, and the gunk is kind of preventing the growth of life, and then there's all this sorts of intrigue with this alien race, intrigue as to where they've gone, why they aren't there, and there's sorts of like alien architecture and structure and buildings everywhere, and it's kind of just unraveling what's kind of going on this planet. The main character, I already forgot their names. Oh, that's the one thing I didn't put on here. But the characters are kind of forgettable. I mean, they're not poorly acted. It's just, I don't know. Nothing really stood out for me in terms of just the characters themselves. I guess, like I said, mechanically, it's very much like Super Mario Sunshine, using the vacuum, kind of clearing out spaces. I would say mainly the biggest hook to this game is exactly that. Where like the biggest kind of rush you get is kind of just seeing the plant life come to form after you clear out a space. You kind of definitely build up a rhythm and get very much into kind of seeing what you've just unlocked or cleaned up. Let's see. I guess I would say it's a very easy game, really simplistic. The puzzles are not that in depth. The combat is not really that in-depth either. I mean, I feel like all this kind of sounds kind of negative. I guess my biggest problem with the game is when I finished it, I kind of was asking myself, like, who exactly is this game for? With all of that said, it's super simplistic with the combat, super simplistic with the puzzles. It's pretty linear. I wouldn't say there's much kind of exploration that you need to do everything within the game. I would say it's a game that should be tailored for children, but there's an oddly large amount of cussing within the game, which kind of threw me off. They like this character and her friend on the ship. Their like dialogue back and forth is like just filled with cussing, kind of some F-bombs, S-bombs. And I don't have a problem with cussing, but, if you're playing a game that doesn't feel like it fits, it really stands out. At least to me it did. But yeah, I guess just kind of... Is there any questions you had? That's all I had to say, pretty much, Phoenix. Anything you were wondering about it, if you should play it or not?
I knew absolutely nothing about this game. I'm kind of watching the B-roll that you have up there while you're talking about it. You said there was combat. Oh, okay, I saw some. I don't know.
They're good.
No, I have nothing, man. I mean, it has a interesting art style. I mean, aesthetically, it looks kind of interesting. Like as far as like your cussing comment, I rarely find that adds a whole lot to most of these games. Like, I mean, unless it's something like like The Last of Us, where it's a necessary kind of dialogue moment where it fits. But
I don't have a problem with it. But it just didn't feel like it fit in this type of game. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. As I can't speak a whole lot to it. I didn't play the game, so I'll just kind of go off what you're saying, your opinion. I would probably completely disagree with you because I disagree with you about everything you say for the most part. Yeah. So I'll probably play it and think it's game of the year. But with that being said,
I don't think you would think it's game of the year. It's not that in depth. I mean, Again, overall, I would say I really like the game. I would definitely recommend anyone play it, especially with how much time the game involves. It's not going to take up a heck of a whole lot of your time. Again, I suck at video games, and I finished it in about 5 hours, which that's nothing, 5 hours. if you compare it to like other games I want to play right now, like Guardians, I think Guardians is like 20, 25. You know, that stuff like
that long.
Yeah. You don't think it's that long? I've read Time to Beat 2025, I thought.
Man, I don't feel like I put that much time. Maybe I did. It felt quicker than that, but I highly recommend Guardians. I mean, if that's
one of my next, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that was my only real main gripe with the game is I didn't know exactly who the game was tailored for. You know, there's oddly a lot amount of cussing, which so it's not necessarily made for kids, but everything is so kind of easy. An adult, I don't think, would feel that challenged by anything. I don't know. It was just kind of
you, Chaz, because you're terrible at games now. Can't play Elden Ring, can't play Tunic. So clearly, they made this game just for you when you're inept skill level. No, I was kidding.
That probably maybe that is exactly made for lesser skilled adults, I guess. But
here's the thing. I don't know. Skill's a hard thing to judge, and I said I haven't played this, so it's really hard for me to say. But there are plenty of games that I have enjoyed where they're not hard games, but they're maybe atmospheric, or there's an interesting narrative to it, or something like that. So I don't know if this game checks any of those boxes based on what you're saying.
I would say atmospheric it does, but narrative I wouldn't. It's a really simple story.
Yeah, I don't know. I won't pry into this anymore. I said I am coming way on the outset of this, so I have no real specific opinions on this game in particular.
I would say again, it doesn't take up much of your time, so at least it. I don't know. I didn't feel like I wasted. You know, I didn't feel like it was a bad enough experience where I wasted my 5 hours. It was like, oh, that was fun. That was neat. I'm done with it.
This was Game Pass, right?
Yeah, it's a Game Pass title.
You know, I'll tell you that goes a long way nowadays. Like, maybe that's one of the reasons this is on Game Pass. Like, I don't know if this was a physical release or like what the pricing of it was, but this will go into I think our conversation in a few minutes about Oddworld. But Game Pass gives a lot of games that would not have been successful a chance, if not to maybe be a financial hit, at least to get some exposure in the gaming community. Like, I mean, just looking at this game, and if I saw this on the shelf somewhere at GameStop or wherever, I probably wouldn't be inclined to pick it up. It had no critical buzz that I had heard of or anything like that. So
it's definitely like, that's $10, I'll pick it up. It's not like a full price.
Yeah, it's one of those kind of things. Or even at that, I mean, the way I get games, like this, honestly, if I saw this, it would have to be like a $5 game, something like that. However, with it being on Game Pass, I mean, as you came across, it's like, hey, that looks interesting. I'll try it. It doesn't cost me anything more than what I'm already doing. And if nothing else, even if the game doesn't sell more because of it, it gives more exposure to the game. Sometimes that opens it up to maybe has critical favor, and maybe it gets greenlit for a sequel, something like that, builds up a fan base. So I don't know. That's probably the direction they were going with something like this. Maybe just kind of Game Pass fodder, but I don't know. Interesting kind of thing to think about.
And it is kind of, I guess it is kind of nice also with us having to do starting this podcast and doing all this stuff. It is kind of nice, you know, to shout out something small that maybe a lot of people haven't gotten to experience, you know, if it's positive, you know. But, alright, well, that was it. I finished the game. I had fun. I recommend you guys do it if you got about 5 hours to spend. So, yeah, we will move on.